This morning. Fortunately, I didn't give Barbara to make a prediction because we've been so busy this morning. It's been absolutely chaotic, I've got to be honest with you. And of course, earlier on this morning, we spoke to Kyle Elliott coming out of Nashville. Today, we're heading all the way over to Ontario to catch up with Mark and the doctors. And I'm going to ask him, you believe me, I'm going to ask him if there's a real doctor in the house. You know me. But in the meantime, let me do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM. Got to thank everybody that's joining us this morning online and also on Facebook Live. Nice to have you on board, it really, really is. And I tell you what, if you're a first-time viewer, sub, thumb, bell, believe me, absolutely can't go wrong with that. Bell notifications when we have important people, much like the band Mark and the Doctors. Believe me, fantastic. You're going to love them. You really, really are. They've been around for a while in different forms, and, well, now they've settled here in New Zealand to talk to me. Yeah, you know what that's going to be like, right? You do. Sub. Why sub? Well, why not subscribe? Become part of the family. We call it the noise here at Galaxy, simply because it is growing exponentially every day, and we do hear you. Believe me, reception gets rushed off their feet by the requests and the loves and everything like that you send in. Thank you very, very much for that. Funny thing, you know what to do with that, right? You do. Yeah, get epileptic with it. Double, treble, quad, treble, dare you. Go on, just like us, love us, all of that sort of stuff, and leave comments. Yeah, let us know you're there, literally. Like Tina Lou Spalding is watching. Hello! How's the pulpit? Nice to have you back, my darling. It really, really is. I see CC Critter is also on board. I wonder where as well as believe me, absolutely fantastic to have everybody on board. Let's get it underway. And you know, I hear a lot of Bob Seger over the years. I really, really do, and a lot of people that do a version of it. This to me is one of the better versions I have ever heard. Here's Mark and the Doctors and Main Street. So Mark, we've got a couple of minutes before we go to the desk. You okay? You need a drink?
Yeah, so I'm fantastic, my friend. I just had dinner. I'm sitting here on my couch and everything's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't have advised having a meal before we start this. Believe me, you never know. It might be regurgitated by the end of it.
You're a pretty funny guy, I tell you. I like that.
I used to be a stand-up comedian.
It helps in the DJ business, I'm sure. That really helps.
It does. Now I sit down and do it.
Yeah, because it mixes in with radio. I mean, it's a great. I try to be 1,000 comedians out of work, and I try to be funny.
Well, you know, they actually pay me to do this job. I think, you know, that I get the better deal there, to be honest.
Yeah, you got a great job. Really good job. I actually always wanted to be a DJ too. I think it would be cool. Cool job.
I did it from the age of about 19.
Wow.
And
30 now, right?
Yeah, look, I'm almost doing 40 years, literally. I think I'm about 38 years at doing it.
Well, you look like 30 plus tax. That's your age, right?
I love that. I really do. I'm going to use that one from now on. Nada Enough is joining us. Hello, Nada. Nice to have you on board. And hi, Tina. Also, Glenn Peters is watching. Brenda McCready is watching. Nice to have Brenda. And Tina says, love. Hi, Mum. With a big
purple heart?
big purple heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
give her a little red one there, a white one.
Okay. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm not going to tell them that my on-air producer is actually not enough. Oh, I didn't say that, did I?
No, you sure did.
Dear. Mark, while we're on air, literally, I'll ask you basic questions that people want to know. And usually, believe me, they ask the same questions all the time. But from time to time, I do get a surprising one in there. But along the way, I'm trying to cover a myth as well, and I will talk to you about that, because believe me, by the end of this, you'll literally ask your band whether anybody does it as well, okay? I've found people doing it. I have. I started something. You know, I love my job. I really, really do, especially when we get A-class bands, much like Mark and the Doctors, and going all the way over to Ontario this morning. Good morning, good afternoon over there, Mark. Nice to have you on board. Welcome to Galaxy.
Hi, Grant. How are you? And lovely to be on. Oh, I'm so thankful. Thank you.
Well, it is
wonderful.
It is an absolute pleasure to have you on board, my friend. It really, really is. And you're creating quite a sensation here at Galaxy. We play you in a number of different shows, but moreover, you have been making quite the impression on the breakfast show just lately. So got to congratulate you for that.
Well, I mean, thank you very much. I mean, that's very kind, and wow, I really appreciate it. We just try and create some music and have some fun with it, and we've had some small success, and I'm very thankful. Keep listening, folks. We're going to keep putting out some more music.
I love that idea. I really, really do. Now, let me tell you, we're in every English-speaking country in the world, and, well, some that aren't, and I don't know how that works, but I'm going to take it anyway. And I'll give you some stats as we go through with our on-air producer. She'll give me figures and stuff like that. So you might be impressed, but the figure you really want to know about is the one at the very end of this, how many are online, and that will absolutely fascinate you. Chris Andreas is joining us again, coming out of British Columbia. Excuse me. Nice to have you on board, Chris. It really, really is. Bo Gregory is back again, and Terry Williams. Nice to have everybody there. Now, I have heard a huge amount of bands covering Bob Seger over the years, including Main Street. This, to me, as an engineer, and believe me, I don't listen to music as a fan would. I listen to it as an engineer. I break it down, try and figure out how you did it, why you did it. Main Street, why did you do it?
Well, before that, I just put out my first original song in 2019, and I was kind of in between bands, as I said on my bio there, too. So what happened was we were at my cousin's studio, Rob Hare, who's the other partner on this song. Rob and I did this in his home studio, and he did the drums. He did most of everything. I just played guitar and sang in that one. Down on Main Street. Love that song. Anyway, the reason we did it was we were in between songs. We were going to the main studio that we go to all the time. And what we were doing then was, Rob said, hey, let's do a cover tune. He said, Mark, you sing that one pretty good. And Rob played guitar on there. Just wonderful, man. He just tries to do it almost exactly, or not exactly, but close enough in his own way. He's just a great guy to work with. And he's my cousin, too, so anyway.
Bonus, absolutely bonus. Now, I got to be honest with you, currently you're sitting at 1,753 requests for Main Street, and it's been breaking onto our breakfast show almost I can't seem to get through a breakfast show without playing you, and I'm loving that idea.
Wow, I'm amazed. I'm freaking amazed. That's unbelievable. Thank you. thanks everyone out there for that. I actually jammed with a band on Friday nights here in town, and I said to Jeff, my buddy who plays in the Doctors of Music, I said, Jeff, let's do Main Street. We haven't done that in a while, and the band hadn't played it before, and we did it really. People were like filming it, and I thought, you know what? We do that song really well. I just love that song too. It gives me chills talking about it, you know.
Absolutely brilliant. And please, next time you see Rob here, please pass on regards from me too, because as an engineer, I respect other people's work, and that's a work of art. It really, really is. Now, Jason, coming from Rocky View in Calgary, is asking, Mark, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? Are you a talker? But more importantly, Mark, do you respond?
I do respond. I'm on Facebook, and if you go to, how to pronounce my last name is Wihlidal. Just that's exactly how to pronounce it. Like Willa and Dahl. That's how it's pronounced. Pretty close anyway. And if you go on YouTube and just put Mark and the Doctors of Music, it'll go right to my YouTube site, and all the songs are there. And if you go Mark Wihlidal on Facebook, I have a lot of our postings there. I'm on Spotify also, and I'm on Twitter. And you can find me on Twitter at Wihlidal Mark on Twitter, at Wihlidal Mark on Twitter. And it's spelled Wihlidal. I know it's a funny last name, and I didn't really want to use that, but being that the first song I wrote was with my cousins, the second two songs were with the Last Chance Band, and the last songs have been with Mark Wihlidal and the Doctors of Music. So that's why I used my name, even though it's confusing to people. But I hope I gave enough information.
Well, you did, but at the same time, Tracy, coming from Long Beach in California, is asking, Mark, do you have a merch store? Can I go online and buy merch and product and, koozies, shirts, caps, stuff like that?
I'm just working on getting my own site, and I'm going to get some T-shirts out. I have a really nice logo that our drummer Steve Wilcox designed, but I've been so busy trying to get our music out to radio stations, and we've had a couple of gigs coming up too at the Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto. If you look that up, it's one of the world famous clubs. It's a Canada famous club. And we're playing there on September 26th, and for us, that is epic, because the Stones have played there, Bryan Adams, Matchbox 20, all kinds of great artists have played there. The Hip, Tragically Hip, Gordon Lightfoot many times. The Hip actually wrote a song about the checkerboard floor, and that I've been, more than getting my site ready and getting the music ready, I've been practicing for that show.
I'm jealous because I'd love to come along and see you live myself. I love your music. I really, really do. As an engineer, from time to time, and I've got to be honest with you, Barbara gets about a submission of about 150, 200 bands a day wanting to do what we're doing right now, promote the music and all the amenities that go with it, including the interview. And believe me, at the end of this too, by the way, you'll get this in movie form. Barbara will turn it all into a movie and give it to you as well. And I have views about that as well. I'll tell you about that later. But having said that, believe me, you tick all the boxes for me. And at the same time, Barbara's got to be vicious because we can only do so many of these in a week, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So believe me,
I mean, I'm flattered that so many people are liking the music. I'm just flattered, and we're all humbled by it. And this was all unexpected. And Steve Wilcox, I have a great drummer, and Jeff Sloan. I quit. I only came back in 2009, and Jeff Sloan and I started doing a duo of Jimmy Sexsmith, and we did a 3-guitar show in all the clubs. And then in 2019, I thought, I'm going to start writing my own music again. And then unexpectedly, we've had some help from Eric Alper and Sandy Graham in Toronto. They're some very big music people that have been so kind to us and helped us. And now that we've had songs on the radio, it's so nice of you guys to play it, but it inspires us to do more and just have fun.
Well,
It's not about you're famous. It's about just having some fun and maybe people like it, and that's the best part.
well, believe me, I can tell you now that a lot of people like your music. They really, really do. Now, I want to talk about the First Last Chance band very, very shortly. But first of all, Searching for True Love. Tell me a little bit about the lyrics with this.
Well, I didn't actually write it about anyone, but I guess if you listen to the lyrics, it's my search for true love. I guess, and anyone can take it as their search for true love also. I think anyone can adapt it to their own way of thinking, be it a girl or a guy. You can, and the song is about a search for true love. And I think if you don't have a significant other, and you do in the studio there with you, so if you don't have a significant other, you're searching for true love. You're always searching for love. And even, I think we search for it in friendships. You're always searching for that connection where you know you can trust somebody. And that's what the song is about, searching for that connection with either a friend or mostly a relationship, though, I think. Yeah.
You're right here at Galaxy, and we're joined by Mark today from Mark and the Doctors. Here's Searching for True Love on Galaxy. How you feeling, Mark? You okay?
I love it. How am I doing? Okay there?
Yeah, you're very photogenic. Not like me. I got the perfect face for radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said that to the last guy. I heard you, and I laughed like heck when you said that. I was watching a bit of that interview, and I hate my face on radio. I don't my face on whatever. That's why you don't notice any of my videos. It's mostly not me. But, I mean, I don't think any of us really like the looks of ourselves sometimes. So.
Well, this is a true story, my friend. I've been with New Zealand radio for many, many years, government side of it, and they used to literally try and get me to go on to television and do the breakfast show, right? And I bypassed that. It's been a couple of famous New Zealand television presenters that got my job that I didn't want to do. Then when we first started doing this, and I've got to be honest, we were happy if we had 10 people listening. We were very happy if we had 10. But Barbara comes along with a damn camera and she puts us on Facebook, and before you know it, I can't dodge it.
Everybody's listening. You know what? This social media has really helped musicians, independent musicians, and it's really helped guys like us break through. Because I don't know, how else would you break? Years ago, there was only a certain amount, and you either had to be big or else you couldn't break through, right? I mean,
exactly. You had to have those big RCAs and festivals and all of those big companies. How many countries are tuned in right now?
165.
165 countries tuned in right now.
you got a really wicked show.
How many cities?
2492.
Okay, 2,492 cities from around the world are tuned in.
Holy smokes, that is amazing.
It's about right, actually. It's, you know.
Well, hardly wait till I'm going to share this video on my Facebook, and I'll tell you, people will be amazed at how many people are listening. I have quite a few followers on Facebook are following our music, so we're lucky that way.
Nice. Let's go back to the desk. That's right, you're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today I'm joined by Mark from Mark and the Doctor's bio. Got the bio here, literally I'm reading it, see it says bio. That's why I put that in. But Mark, Paul from Stratford in Canada is asking, are you looking at doing any tours? Are you touring at the moment, and what do you got planned for the forthcoming summer?
Well, I have that show at the Horseshoe Tavern on September 26th in Toronto. Then we have a show in Oshawa at the Simcoe Blues Club on Friday, October 13th. Then we have a big show at the Jew Pavilion, a famous pavilion here in Oshawa, for the Oshawa Mental Health Association. And we're doing that show with another Juno Award-winning artist here in Canada, Jack the Kaiser. I don't know if you've heard of him. And we're doing that show for the Oshawa Mental Health. That's going to be a great night. We're going to raise some money. And we love doing charity shows. So that's the extent of our tour. And that's Friday, November 17th in Oshawa. And that'll be advertised in Toronto through Eric Elfer. So those tickets will be on sale in a couple weeks. The Horseshoe Show is no cover because it's new music night. And the Simcoe Blues show we do here in Oshawa, Ontario will be $10 cover charge. So, yes, that's all we have up for now.
Now, I want to talk about the First Last Chance Band. You have been in the music industry now for, well, a couple of moons, let's put it that way. And then you decided to take a hiatus for a while. What was the reason because of taking the hiatus?
Well, out of school there, out of high school, we had a band. It was called Gravity, and one of the guys I used to play with, Simon Gibb, he moved to Australia. He might even be listening in tonight. And hi, Sue and Mike Hazy in Australia, they might be listening in. Chris Bacon, hello, Australia, they might be listening. Anyway, what happened was we were out of high school. We played for a couple of years, and we did our own music way back then, but it wasn't really accepted that well because you were supposed to do covers, but we did our own music, and that I always did my own music. So, and then, you know, you meet women, and I had houses, and you had relationships, and the guitar just went away in 1985 and never brought it out till 2009.
Fair enough, too, and I totally understand that. I really, really do. In fact, I got a guitar that I have over there. Believe me, I don't think I've picked it up in quite a while, to be honest with you. But every now and again, it's a stress relief for me. You know what I mean? So I'll just sit there and have a pluck. Believe me, I learnt to play better through the pandemic era because there was nothing but 100% stress. I've got to be honest with you. All the staff out of the way, and I was the only one that was able to look after something like about 52 computers all at once, and they've all got a personality of their own. Hate them. You know what I mean? So from time to time I'd sit there and play the guitar, just catch up with myself. But having said that...
Yes.
But having said that, other than that, I'm superstar in my own bedroom, if you know what I mean, huh?
I'm a legend in my own mind too, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I got to have a mind to be a legend with, apparently, according to my on-air producer.
Listen in because you're so wonderful to listen to, and it's all unexpected.
Well, believe me, the numbers you really want to hear is right at the end of this, and believe me, you'll be fascinated with that. Now, having said that, Evil Spell, tell me about this because I actually play this track in my car.
Well, you know, when we play this live now, we've rocked it. Well, what happened was, this was during the pandemic, and I had met some friends that I'd known for years, Jeff McAnally, Rob McAnally, and Christine Marie and Mike Lodge. Well, I'd known them from when I worked in the bars years ago, and I knew they kind of played music, and we hooked up over COVID, and we practiced in the basement when we could, when they didn't have the lockdowns. You could only have 4 people in the house or something. There were 6 of us. But we managed over a year and a half. Really, we got that Evil Spell out of that. Though I wrote it and wrote the bass, the bed tracks. I wrote the lyrics and the music. Those people really helped me with the background music because by them creating that, some of the studio musicians, and I used some of them in the studio also, but the studio musicians gave some of those on Evil Spell, gave me exactly what I was looking for. And Jeff, my bass player in the Doctors of Music, who's a multi-instrumentalist, he played lead in that, and I love that track. It's a really, really, like, I really do love that track, but playing it live, it's a little different. We rocked it up a bit, but thank you for liking that.
Well, I really, really do. I've got to be honest with you, Mark. So here is Mark and the Doctors and Evil Spell on Galaxy. Ah, dear, dear, dear. You okay there, Mark?
I'm wonderful. Yeah. How's it going over there?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Actually, it's about 20 degrees C, which is not bad for a winter's day here.
And we had a beautiful summer day. It was probably 25, and it's going down to about 12 tonight.
Right.
So it's just a summer day.
Yep, absolutely. Love, love, love that. I really do. Mark, I don't know whether you saw this in the last interview, but I ask everybody this. By any chance, are you a vegan?
No,
You're not. You're a meatologist like me.
I am.
Okay. Have you ever tried a vegan sausage?
I have. My niece is a vegan, and I have tried some of their stuff.
Okay. Is it made of real vegans?
Is it made of real vegans?
Yeah. Well, look, I was upset when I found out that Girl Guide biscuits weren't made of real Girl Guides. So I've always wondered, you know, a vegan sausage, is it made of real vegans? Really?
Well, and I always wondered, if they don't like meat, why do they eat the almost meat? Why do they eat that stuff if they don't like it? Why do they call it almost whatever and they don't like it? Can you answer that one?
Well, I've always found that cows, sheep, and most grazing animals that we eat are vegetarians anyway. Why are you attacking your own kind?
Yeah.
I'd support. Look, honestly, I found a friend of mine who was a vegan, and I said to her once, "Do you guys ever get together?" She goes, "Yeah." I says, "You go out to the pub and have a good night?" She goes, "Yeah." I says, "Really? That's interesting." She goes, "Why?" I says, "Well, the only place I ever see is on the news." It's true, I tell you. It really is.
You got a sense of humor.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're catching up with Mark from Mark and the Doctors, coming out of Ontario in Canada. I think he's got a thumb in the way right now. You can hardly see.
Yeah, I had to plug it in. My battery was getting low, so.
Yeah, believe me, I fully understand that. It happens to me all the time. It really does. And then I have to do my devices at the same time.
So I changed chairs and I plugged it in just in case. I don't want to run out in the middle of an interview.
Fair enough. So, just turn that down a bit. I'm sorry, guys. Now, Mark, we were talking about vegans and everything like that prior to coming back on air. But I do have a friend of mine who was a first class, in fact, he's a 5-star chef working for a 5-star restaurant in Auckland. And I asked him one day, Gavin, what's the hardest thing about cooking in your kitchen? He goes, vegetables. I went, yep, know what you mean, getting the wheelchairs in the oven must be a bitch. Mark, don't get me going on vegetable oil now, will you?
I tell you, you're pretty funny there, Grant. I love this interview. This is great.
Well, I tell you what, are you familiar with the company Johnson and Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been blacklisted.
Have you?
Yeah, they won't return my texts, my calls, my emails, not a thing. Not a thing. Look, I was talking to one of their executives once, and I just simply said, how many babies goes in a bottle?
Because it's baby powder, right?
Well, it could be baby powder, but it does also say baby oil.
Baby oil, yeah.
You know,
well, they fish them.
Yeah, do they reduce 3 fat ones down, what, to get one?
Yeah, it's like grapes. You put them in a vat and squish them down, I suppose.
Yeah, but believe me, Bob, you know, I haven't had a good wine since somebody was mashing all the grapes together with their feet in Italy, literally. And I've got a friend of mine, I'm not kidding, I was talking to him over the weekend, and I said propaganda to him, and he goes, propaganda? What's propaganda? I says, I know the meaning of propaganda, it's an Englishman having a good look.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Well, I tell you what, this comes from the same guy that thought that innuendo was an Italian suppository.
I can't believe people are still listening to us.
Oh yeah, believe me, they'll hang in there because they want the next song. Sandy Homer is watching. Hello, Sandy, nice to have you on board. And but you know, life can be a mystery. It really, really can. Especially when you end up talking to me like Mark has at the moment. He might need a psychiatrist by the end of this. Mark, tell me about life can be a mystery.
Well, life can be a mystery. Now, that song, that came to me on a Christmas Eve when I was leaving Roger and Wendy's house. Roger Bigger and Wendy, a couple of my great friends. Roger plays guitar, plays the hip all the time, does a real good job with that stuff. Hip cover man. And I was leaving their house on a Christmas Eve. Yeah, it was Christmas Eve, too. And this was, 2/21, I guess it was Christmas Eve. And I was using my little Honda car, and my radio had gone. And on the way home, the words of that song came to me, and I came home that night and wrote them down, and I had a couple drinks into me, and then that's where that song came from. And that's when I met the new band, too. It was late 222, or late 221. I met my guitar player, Steve DeKessie. I skate 4 times a week at the local arena. I used to be a hockey referee years ago. So I skate, and I met Steve there, and he used to play with some great artists around the Toronto area when he was a few years ago when he lived in the Toronto area. And I met him. And that started the Doctors of Music. And he's on Life. I asked him to play on Life is a Mystery. And that guitar sound, that was always something that I was looking for. And that song is, I tried to make a positive song. That was also at the end of COVID. I tried to make it a positive song. Because don't look back at closed doors. Move straight ahead, no matter what anybody says. Don't worry about... life isn't fair. It's not fair for all of us. Just move on. Keep straight ahead, and you can solve the mystery of life. Just keep positive, even though, you know what, we've all go through hard times, and that's everybody in the whole world, whether you're rich, poor, or whatever. Just, I was trying to make the song positive. You know, life can be a mystery, but you can solve it by being positive and not looking back.
Love that. Really, really do. So joining us live here at Galaxy is Mark and the Doctors, and I am going to ask him sooner or later, yes I am, but life can be a mystery on Galaxy. Mark, do you remember Captain Kirk?
Oh, yeah.
William Shatner?
Oh, yeah.
I see his lingerie line has been recalled. It's on the news this morning.
He has a lingerie line?
Yeah, well, not anymore anyway, because apparently Shatner Panties isn't a good name.
Well, you know something? I don't even want to see that. I like Star Trek. I always loved Star Trek. I like them all, actually.
Did you realise that after the first year of filming Star Trek, he actually changed his call sign? Once upon a time, he used to, ask Scotty to beam him aboard.
That's right.
And then he changed it to beam me up, Scotty. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's right.
Do you know why?
I never really thought of that, but that's right.
Yeah, within the first year they changed that simply because Shatner kept getting smacked by 2x4s.
And he's still kicking around, man.
He is,
I think he's 90 years old. He went into space, didn't he? Didn't he go on Musk's rocket, or did he go on the other one, Bezos?
something like that, yeah. Hey, who better to send?
Yeah,
I mean,
no kid.
Look at the bloody Russians. They couldn't even get a bloody a spacecraft to go to the moon without crashing it.
Oh, well, that's, I don't think much of Mr. Putin there.
No,
But
neither
we
do I.
went into the politics.
Neither do I. But at least the Indians can make dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
They did.
That's right.
Absolutely they did, yeah. Here's a question for you. If a car could travel through space at the speed of light, would the headlights work?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Well, the kamikaze pilots, the Japanese kamikaze pilots, they knew they were going to die because they used to go around their family and friends and get prayers stitched onto their scarves, right?
Right.
Why the hell did they give them crash helmets?
Yeah, that was kind of a waste of steel, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think they were leather or something. Mark is coming from Roads and Greece is asking, Mark, would you be interested in touring internationally, especially through places like Greece and Italy and places like that?
Definitely. Actually, we're involved with Sandy Graham and EMG Collectives and Eric Helper, and our music is being heard a lot in Europe because of the people that have been helping us. And currently, we and the guys are on 3 radio stations in Europe, 3 in the UK at the moment. I can't remember. I think we're on in Sweden, and Sandy Graham's radio station, Cashbox Radio in Canada here, they have listeners in Russia, Bulgaria, Romania, and we're really starting to branch out. And yes, I would definitely play in those places, definitely.
Yeah, I see you're in Canada, UK, USA, Norway. Now you're in New Zealand as well.
And I've been putting that on our Facebook too, and you know what? I'm getting some positive responses. I hope some of my friends are listening in tonight, and if not, I will be replaying the show on my Facebook. And I have a lot of we're lucky we have a lot of followers. We've been working at this, and thank you all for listening in. Whatever country you're listening in, I would love to go and play anywhere. We love to play live. We practice once or twice a week, and we try and get our songs to sound just like the YouTube songs, just like they sound on YouTube. But of course, live they don't. But we try and get as close as possible.
Well, I've got to let you know, currently you've got about 137,000 coming out of Osaka in Japan right now, hooked in listening. So believe me, you're getting a big following over that side of the world. You really, really are. Now, Girl in a Yellow Dress. This is the last song we're going to be reviewing today, and I'm fascinated with this track. Tell me a little bit about the Girl in a Yellow Dress. Who was she?
Oh, well, now this is a really interesting story. My friend Brian, who I go to Cuba with, my buddy, I travel with a lot of guys and ladies, and we go to Cuba, but Brian been going to travel with me the last couple of years, and And I go. He lives in Oshawa here down in the south end area. I live in the north end of the town, and I'd go to his house all the time. Just drop in. We're both retired, and he's an ex-General Motors guy and made cars and all his life, and has good pension. And I always stop in and see him. And we travel around. He's a Harley guy, and I'm a Corvette guy, so we travel around all the time. And he hit that girl in the yellow dress. When I pulled in one time, Brian has a little hut out back of his place, and we sit in there. It's like a man cave, and his neighbor was the girl in the yellow dress. Well, when I met her, her name is Danielle, and what a sweet lady. I mean, I was 60-some years old, and she was like 37. And when we met, I just became very good friends with her, just an outstanding friend. And I found her to be, I wish I was 20 years younger, because I told her that a few times. And I wrote this song about her because of her sweet personality. She would always say sorry, and I'd say, don't say sorry. She was just a sweet, kind lady. And there's a lot of them out there, but they're hard to meet, and she's still a great friend. And I wrote this song about her because she went through some hard times in her life, and I just thought she was a sweet person, and she deserved a break. And I wrote in there, I want to see her conquer the world. And now she's working, and she's moved out of Oshawa, and she's doing really well for herself. And I just wrote the song about her, how nice she was, how beautiful she was, too. I mean, and it's a Bo Diddley type song. It's a Bo Diddley feel to it. It's got a real bluesy song. We love playing this one live. And anyway, I hope that answers the question.
It really does, and you're right here, joining us live with Mark and the Doctors. And yes, Mark, before I go any further, before we go with Girl in the Yellow Dress, is there a doctor in the house?
I tell you what, we're the Doctors of Music, and where that name came from was Life is a Mystery, that song you just played. We were in the studio, and Alex Paris is the guy, our studio guy, and Artist Development Studios in Clarington. Great guy, great producer, good friend now. He loves doing our music because it's on the radio. He's really into it now, just like everyone who helps me. So many people who help me. Anyway, I was in the studio, and the song was being finished. And as I was walking out, Steve Bekesi, my guitar player, and Alex were there, and they were finishing up the guitar parts. And I said to them, you guys did surgery on that song. And then I said, you guys are like the Doctors of Music, and that's where the name came from.
Bingo. Here is joining us live is Mark from Mark and the Doctors of Music and the Girl in the Yellow Dress on Galaxy. Mark, we'll give you a copy of everything we do today, and when we finish this, don't go anywhere just yet, because some of the staff will be taking photos and stuff like that we'll put into a movie for you, and then Barbara will put some cartoons and stuff in there as well. So very, very cool. It's one of the few things that does make me look good as a cartoon.
Yeah, I hope you make me look good.
Oh, well, you might need to turn a light on a bit more, though. It's getting a bit dark.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
Perfect. At the same time, I will ask you if you come back and do this again, because we would love to have you back again, Mark.
I'd love to do it again. You just, anytime you'd like, and there's another song, You and Me, that I'd like to talk about. I can talk about other things too. I would still have lots more things that, how we got together and a bunch of different things. And I just love this. I appreciate you doing this. It's really kind.
Oh, believe me, Mark. As I said, we only play the best of the best here at Galaxy. And believe me, you've got to go through a bit of a process. 200 odd submissions to Barbara every day. And we've only got a certain amount of time in a week to be able to do these. So we've got to be, Barbara's got to get the red pen out and be vicious. You know what I mean? Then it's got to go. Yeah,
well, all the stations I deal with, you know what they say to me? Mark, the music has to be good. If it isn't good, we can't play it, because we get Sandy says she gets 2,000 a week or something, 1,000 a week. That's like you guys too. You get 200 a day. We're just lucky to have it played because we understand that there's a lot of people submitting music.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
a lot of good, talented people.
Well, you see, it goes past the board, and there could be anything from 12 to or 8 people at any given board meeting when we submit this music to them. Their only concern is our image. It's got to be good, my bro. And we are very, very proud of saying we only play the best indie music in the world.
Well, I appreciate it.
And that's to the world.
'Cause she looks so good in that yellow dress. You are that girl. You are that girl. You are that girl. With the yellow dress on.
Galaxy, galaxy FM.
Now, Mark, this does wrap it up for us here at the moment, and I really, really must ask you, will you be releasing any more new music in the near future, and will you come back and release it with us?
I will definitely send it to you. One of the first people I will send it to will be you, and I thank you for today. And yes, I have a new song that at Rob Hare, we're just about finished. Rob needs me and Jeff to come over just to add a little bass and a couple strums of the guitar, and it's going to be a song called "Let the Music Live." And we have a little blues track that we are in the process that I handed out to all the guys a couple weeks ago. But being that it's the summer here, everybody's still on holidays a little bit. So in September, we're going to get at these things. But Let the Music Live is ready. And we have a blues tune. And we've got a surprise keyboardist that's going to play with us. He used to play with a lady called Anne Murray for 30 years. And we're going to feature him on this blues song that we have, and that should be released probably by November or so. But again, all these things cost money too, so it's we're not rich people, and it's not that I'm trying to get any money or anything, but it takes a little bit to record. But we're almost ready. 2 songs we'll have one out probably before the end of September.
Very, very cool. Now, Mark, I do have one other question, and you'd said that you're going to be getting some merch in the near future for some T-shirts and stuff. How would you like to pass one on to me? I'd be honoured to wear your brand while I do this. And subliminally, it does work, because while people are watching the interviews here, they're on the interwebby thing, finding out all about your merch and stuff like that. So I'd be very, very honoured to wear your brand if you would do me the favour of sending me one of your T-shirts.
I'd gladly send you and Barbara one each, no problem, anytime. You guys have been so kind today. I love doing interviews, but you guys are really, really nice. And the viewers, you have so many. I love your show. I do listen in from time to time. And I'll tell you, me and the guys, we appreciate all of this. I will be listening in more, too.
Good. Good, absolutely.
Great. And I'll make sure that you are one of the first ones to get that song.
Absolutely brilliant, my friend. But in the meantime, please pass love on to the rest of the crew, and also respect to everybody behind the scenes of Mark and the Doctors of Music. Please give everybody the appropriate respects there. Having said that, please don't go anywhere just yet, because we're going to take a couple of photos and stuff like that that Barbara can put into a movie. Now, usually I say about the movie, show it to people you don't like.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I mean, if you show it to your family and friends, they're going to love it automatically. You know what I mean? But if you show it to people you don't like, you never know, it might get a candle under their tushies, and before you know it, they're getting in touch with us as well. So, and again, it's got to be good. It really has. So stay there. But in the meantime, folks, have a very happy and successful day. Barbara's going to be joining me after 5:30 in the morning for the breakfast show tomorrow morning, starting at 6 all the way through until 10. From me, everybody, have a very safe day. Stay careful, and happy radio, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Galaxy 107 FM.
How was that?